Hey y'all, hope you're doing well. Good Friday. It's pretty chilly this morning. It's probably about 30 degrees right now. So yeah, I got a busy day ahead, for this time of year especially. And obviously the firewood really helps me stay even more busy if I didn't have it, so to speak. So yeah, I got a good bit of yard cleanups to do. Got to blow a roof off for a customer. Curious what y'all charge for gutters, and if you get on a roof to blow it off. Obviously I notice anytime you get on a ladder and get on a roof and walk it, obviously there's some danger involved there. But I've been doing it so long, I've done it so many times, I'm very comfortable walking on a roof, and it's easy to do. If it's not too steep, if the pitch isn't too steep, you can easily walk on a roof and blow the gutters out while you're on it and blow all the eaves out and all that kind of thing. I'm curious, what do y'all charge when you do that? Even if it just takes 5 minutes, which a lot of times these roofs and gutters that I clean out, won't take long at all. So it really just depends on that. Even though I feel like you do have to charge a premium, given the danger aspect of it. So yeah, this time of year I do a lot of that, and now the leaves pretty much quit falling. People want their roofs blown off, they want the gutters cleaned out, that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll get the yard stuff done before we head to the wood yard. I want to make sure I got my bins loaded up. I've got 2 that are completely empty. I have 1 bin that's half full. So I want to make sure I go ahead and get them all loaded up before this cold snap hits next week with a chance of winter weather. So really enjoy doing the firewood this time of year. So I promise you this, obviously firewood's hard work, very labor intensive for sure. You gotta be careful when you're lifting up these heavy logs, especially watching your back and that kind of thing. But really enjoy it when it's cold. I'm not gonna be doing it, and obviously I don't do it when it's really hot in the summer. Too busy, and it's just too, if you're cutting that wood up with a chainsaw, you're getting all that sawdust flying up in the air. It's just a nasty, dirty, hard job. So yeah, I do like it this time of year, and that's what we'll be doing a lot this month, specifically month of January, really trying to build up my supply. And I've got to decide, guys, I've got all my numbers in terms of firewood sales added up, and for the first year, not bad. I'm right around $9,000, which I think is pretty good, but I feel like I need to be making more if it's going to be worth my time. I think Ernest mentioned it in the comment. If you're watching, Ernest, appreciate you as always, buddy. He's going to give it to me straight, no doubt, positive, negative. And I agree with him. He says, is it really worth your time and potentially hurting yourself, that kind of thing, doing the firewood? And that's something I'm going to try to determine over the next year. So I got a ton of hickory wood that I'm excited about. I'm just going to do bundles for it. But yeah, that's something I got to decide on. It is hard work, and it takes a good bit of time, to cut it up and get the logs and take them and this, that, and the other. So it's not like I'm not spending any money getting it to process and that kind of thing, guys. So yeah, it's something I got to decide over this year, and something I'm thinking about. Really trying to do a good job of really thinking about the future this time of year. I've never really planned out, in terms of like a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, and I really feel like I need to do that. So what have I been thinking about? I thought about it last night in terms of going maybe on a solo camping trip on a weekend, just by myself, to get away for a few days. I'm sure I'll take my phone with me, but I'll take my Bible, myself, and try to just get away, get my mind off things, to really think about the future, because I think it is a good idea to have that that 5-year plan, that 10-year plan, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's something I'm thinking about. You're really taking things more serious in terms of the future of my business and how I see it going forward and the plans for it that I have. I've never really done that necessarily, but I want to try. I want to start, and got to start somewhere. So yeah, I did talk to my banker and my realtor, my former coach, Coach Cooper, who's retired, living down here nowadays. As a realtor, he got his realtor license about a year or so ago. and he's doing that, and he's done a really good job. I talked to my banker. I think I mentioned it. Yeah, I've all but decided that I'm not going to make any kind of move in terms of the land that I showed y'all and that I'm looking at until that first CD matures, because there is a penalty there, and I won't get the interest that I would get if I let it mature. So I've got one that matures in March, one that matures in May. And I'm just going to let it ride. I'm just going to ride it out. My thinking is, if it sells before March, before that CD matures, it just wasn't meant to be, right? But that land comes into play in terms of my big picture for my business and my future going forward in terms of the business. So I really feel like there's a lot of opportunities. So I really got to hone in on a plan and a outline, so to speak, for the years to come. I feel like I'm going to try to do that in the coming weeks. Try to always do all this thinking stuff and buying any new equipment this time of year when the work is slow. There's not near as much work. It's not pressing, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks, and hopefully get all this stuff figured out outside the work, before April, March, when things really get real busy again. So yeah, that's kind of my thinking, guys. I'm curious. Y'all let me know. Is that something that y'all do? I guess if you're solo or you're similar to me, and you're pretty set in your ways in terms of how you want things to be going forward with your business, I guess you don't really necessarily have to have some grand 10-year plan, right? It's just about doing a good job and making sure your customers are happy. And if you want to add customers, you can do that, make a little more money. But it really shouldn't be overly complicated, if you ask me, unless you just have that, that idea in your head that you want to really scale and grow your business. And then you really gotta, start planning for that and trying to figure things out. But anyway, hey, listen, I'm gonna get some footage of some things today. I don't know if I'll get a whole lot of footage, but just thought I'd throw out those talking points. I guess my video topic would be, do you plan, each and every year, say this time of year, for the year ahead? Is it real? Yeah, do you do a lot of thinking about it, or do you try to keep it simple? You know what I'm saying, in terms of what you want to do. I'm just curious what you think. I guess it all depends on your overall plans for the future in terms of your growth of your business. I think is what's going to make it more complicated. But anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Appreciate every one of you guys. Feel free to comment. Let me know any kind of question, concern, whatever it may be. I'll talk to you soon. Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm at Honey Baked Hen, one of my commercial properties now, right outside from the gas station, not too far from the gas station. Justin's got an errand he's got to take care of, a bill he's got to go pay that he pays, beginning of the month. So yeah, he's gonna do that and meet me a little after 8. So while he's doing that, I'm waiting on him. I'll be started over here getting this property knocked out. So it's not really that bad, but I'll go ahead and we do it once a month, and mainly it's just blowing the curbs off the parking lot. But yeah, I got a situation going on with my help, my main guy, and I've got to find another guy, specifically someone that I can use to drive a truck around to potentially replace Justin. to be honest with you, because I don't think long-term he's a solution. We've agreed to this year, but I'm really not sure what the future holds in terms of Justin working for me, full time. I'm paying him a lot of money, and outside of work, there's some issues, that I'm constantly having to deal with. I'm constantly having to do little things for him and help him out. It's just fine. I appreciate him a lot, but I also do a whole lot for him. I pay him more than anybody's going to pay him. Frankly, probably more, I'm just being honest, given his education and all that. He don't have a degree, so more than what any other job's going to be willing to pay him, and frankly, probably working a lot less time too to make it, to be frankly honest with you. So yeah, I pay him obviously a really good salary, and he does a good job, don't get me wrong. But one thing about me, guys, compared to some of these other channels, I know Ray's the same way, and some of these other ones that talk about the real life day-to-day goings on, we're not going to sugarcoat anything like some of these big guys, in YouTube land, as far as the lawn care, Brian and Keith and all those guys. You hear, I don't think I've ever heard Brian's lawn maintenance mention any issues with employees. And I think he does that. I'm sure he has issues for sure, but I think he does that to keep that image up, with his channel. And I understand that. That's probably the reason why, but I guarantee you he has issues. He just doesn't want to talk about it. So something about me, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to keep it real with you and let you know what's going on, because some of you guys, especially young guys, maybe you're solo, maybe you're committed to being solo, maybe you're thinking about, dipping into the employee pool or, finding a helper or worker. Y'all need to know about this stuff, because I guarantee you, I know Ray can vouch for this. He deals with the same stuff. It's not, there's stuff that goes on when it comes to guys out here working for you, outside of the work that you just got to deal with and be ready for. So I think me letting y'all in on these things is valuable information, just so y'all know what it's truly like, okay? Because you're not going to get the whole entire picture watching Brian's lawn maintenance, just from the videos I've seen. And I actually started watching him when I first started watching YouTube lawn care. That's who I first, watched. That's who I first came across. And I quickly found others that I found more applicable to my experience, if that makes sense. So yeah, I prefer to give you an actual real life snapshot of what it's like and letting you know things that are going on, so behind the scenes, so to speak. And I've always had, I was a fair amount of issues with labor. Now, I'm sure a lot of you that watch me can agree and attest. That's probably why a lot of you decided to be solo, and I don't blame you, dealing with help and all. It can be less frustrating for sure, although I don't feel like, obviously, the money's going to be as good for sure. That's one thing you got to consider. But yeah, Justin, he likes to get on Facebook and make comments, whenever he's feeling upset about stuff. And this particular week, he was upset, apparently, even though he never said anything before. I let him know we'd be working all week because next week looks really cold and the weather might be inclement. So I told him we were going to go ahead and work all week, taking advantage of this good weather. So apparently he wasn't, and he didn't let me know this beforehand or during the day, Wednesday, New Year's Day, when we worked pretty much a full day. We worked from 7:30 to about 4. Good weather, trying to take advantage of this weather for the cold to hit. So yeah, and he's on salary too. Paying him a lot of money every day to be out here. So that's kind of my thinking too. But yeah, he went on his Facebook account and made a comment basically complaining about having to work on New Year's Day and that he was going to try his best to have his own business going by the end of 2025. If that doesn't work out, he wants to get a government job because he don't want to have to work on holidays. Of course, there's several days throughout the year, and I give him sick days too, guys. Sorry to be rambling. I give him 6 sick days, paid sick days, free days, whatever you want to call them, on top of the salary. Plus, obviously, he gets paid if it rains, if the weather, if it's storming, we're not able to work, he's getting paid. So yeah, he wanted to go on his Facebook instead of talking to me man to man and make a comment like that, basically directed towards me in a way, because he knows I see it. He knows we're friends on Facebook, and he knows I see it, but he goes ahead and posts it anyway instead of coming to me. So yeah, does a great job, man, but there's a lot of stuff, guys. But either way, I'm going to have to find another guy if I want to do 2 trucks, starting next year. We do have an agreement for this year So I'm confident he'll be with me this year, but I do need to get serious about finding another guy to potentially replace him if I need someone to be able to drive the truck around, that kind of thing. Now, I could always figure it out if something happened with Justin to where, I could just, be fine with one truck, using one truck, and maybe letting go some accounts that are a little bit outside of my route, my density, so to speak. So I could do that. So there's things I'm always thinking about in terms of planning for situations with labor, in particular Justin. But yeah, I don't know. This is probably going to be his last year with me, just to be honest with you. Really frustrating when you see those kind of things happen, when he posts those kind of comments. And sometimes, he's done it many times. Of course, it's never anything good. It's always a negative comment, basically directed towards me, complaining about things. Of course, he never mentions the good things, ever on his Facebook. But he'll make these little comments on his account. It's really frustrating dealing with it. Sometimes I'll call him on it and talk to him about it. Heck, I've called him on the phone when I've seen it in the past. And, other times I just let it go. But either way, guys, it's something you got to deal with. Guys, just thought I'd throw that story out there and just let you know what's going on with him and the situations that occur with the help outside of work. These little things that you got to deal with and be frustrating and somewhat stressful at times. But anyway, just thought I'd let you know. Hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon. Hey everyone, it's about 2:30 now. I'm here at the wood yard. Before we talk about what's going on here at the wood yard, y'all let me know. I got the clips there, me blowing that roof off. Curious what you guys charge. I definitely feel like you gotta charge a little more, even if it takes a little bit of time or whatever. Just being on a roof using a ladder. I feel like you definitely need to upcharge. But that particular roof is very easy to walk on, pretty flat. The pitch wasn't all that steep. I'm gonna charge her 75 bucks. I only think it took me 10 minutes. So, not very long at all. And I know a lot of you guys may say I should be charging a lot more for that. You probably do, but yeah, for something that simple that only takes 10 minutes, and we were there doing the yard too, getting the yard cleaned up. I feel like 75 is more than fair, for me and for her, because I know a lot of other people probably charge 100 plus, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's just my thinking on that. Regardless of whatever it may be, if it doesn't take me all that long, I'm not gonna charge someone some outrageous price. So yeah, I feel good about 75. Just let me know what y'all would charge typically for blowing gutters out. It's something really good to do this time of year. I've been doing a lot of that this month since the leaves have fallen, that kind of thing. So yeah, y'all, let me know on that. So I'm here now in my wood yard. Justin's making bundles. I've been loading my truck up to fill up these bins. So since I settled up with Alex the last time, I noticed a bin and a half. This one over here is sold half of it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fill these up. Fill these 3.5 up with wood here that I got on the truck. And I've got some rounds. I went ahead and cut up some rounds over here that I'm gonna mix in there with it, just to add some filler, if that makes sense. So yeah, all in all going good. I wanna make sure I got these bins filled up and ready to go before it gets cold next week. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people coming in this weekend potentially. So yeah, I've sold 2, like I said, since the last time I settled up with Alex. But anyway, just want to let you know what's going on. I'll get some footage and we'll close out the day after this footage. Have a good one. Hey everyone, it's finished up. Just dropped Justin off. It's about 4:45 right now. We finished up at the wood yard and actually had a guy, while I was loading up the bins, I finished, loading them up, topping them off. And a guy came in and bought a load. So it actually worked out good because I was able to obviously keep the full 80. Whenever I'm not there, I've mentioned before, I'm doing a 15% commission. So the guy that was there, the pine straw guy, Alex, whenever I collect my money, I give him 15%. So, and technically I'm only getting $68 out of that 80 whenever, being sales when I'm not there. But obviously it works out good. I mean, I'm not making a whole lot of money, but 68 bucks, like I was telling the guy that came and picked up the load, I mean, I'll feed my family when we go out to dinner and then some, have some left over. So that's good. Every little bit helps, and it's cash too. So that's a good thing. But anyway, hey, listen, just kind of piggybacking off my original comments, guys. When I mentioned when I first watched, started watching YouTube, watching Brian. Seemed like a really good guy. I'm not trying to be negative towards him, but we're going to talk about that. I'm going to do a video talking about those particular channels and just give you some thoughts, things that I've noticed with some of those particular YouTubers, that I mentioned before, and go a little more in depth, just what I think. But yeah, when I first started watching YouTube, he was a guy that I started watching, and then I found other channels that I felt like were more applicable, more like my business, excuse me. I'm a little, my mouth's a little dry, can't speak, but yeah. A little more like my own business, and I think it was Shane, DLT, who I stumbled on first after I started watching Brian, and slowly but surely I noticed other channels. I think it was Shane first, and I found his channel really interesting, especially when he had help. Honestly, I felt like his channel was better overall. No offense if he happens to be listening. when he had Justin, that other, the other Justin that helps him, that was helping him, the mulch queen or king, whatever it was he called him. Yeah, I thought it was a little more interesting because, a lot of the same struggles that he would talk about and same issues that actually led to Justin moving on, I experienced. And same thing for Ray. Ray has a lot of issues to help. It's just the guys out here, y'all. I mean, it's just, you got to kind of pick your poison. I mean, and be honest with yourself. More times than not, the guys out here, there's just certain things you're just going to have to deal with. And Justin, my Justin that works with me is no different. I try to manage not only the business, but honestly, I got to kind of manage his personality in a way. And he's fairly emotional and that kind of thing, more so than me. He's just different. His personality is different than mine. So I'm already always taking that into consideration in how I go about things, working with him and calling him out on certain things. I don't want to, I'm not going to call him out on every single little thing that I notice that may irritate me. That makes sense. I'm going to pick my battle, so to speak. But I'm not going to go to battle every single opportunity that I feel like it may be necessary. That's just something that I've noticed with him. Everyone's different. Everybody's personality is different. Emotionally, there's emotional stability, all that kind of stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So that's another aspect of this business in terms of help and dealing with guys and, their issues that they be having. We all have bad days, that kind of thing. So those are things that you got to consider when guys are helping you and try to manage those things on top of getting the work done, if that makes sense. So yeah, I try not to come across being too harsh, but you young guys, y'all need to know what it's really like. Okay, that's kind of my thought. When it comes to YouTube, and I want to be truthful. I want to be 100% honest with you about what I'm going through, and that's what I'm going to do. The good, the bad. Whether it's dealing with employees, customers, y'all need to know all that. Y'all don't need the watered down sunshine and rainbows version that Brian's Lawn Maintenance and some of those other guys are going to give you, because that's typically what they give you. They don't ever talk about the struggles with help. They don't ever really mention any negative stuff involving customers, okay? But that's not reality, okay? That's not reality out here. You guys need to realize that, okay? So that's why I bring up what I bring up. I try not to cross the line and be personal or anything like that. I feel like I'm getting better at that. I think I might have from time to time early on when I first started doing this. But I'm trying to tone it down whenever I bring stuff up with employees and customers, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, y'all need to know the truth for sure, what it's really like out here. And that's why I'm going to portray. I'm going to be genuine. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give it to you 100 about what it's like and what I'm experiencing. And I feel like y'all should learn a lot from it. I know I did. Again, I started watching Brian, but then I gravitated over towards Shane. And then I found Ray. And I still like, obviously, watching Ray's channel a lot, because me and him are fairly similar in terms of the experiences. I think our personalities are a little bit different, and how we view things might not be just alike, but we do think a lot alike for sure. So yeah, I tended to gravitate towards him and his channel, and found his channel way more interesting. Some of the bigger YouTubers that just try to sell you products and make money, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just my thoughts. We'll do a video sometime talking more about the various lawn care channels and what I think. Just give me my opinion. They're good people and they give good advice sometimes for sure, but yeah, I told you what I thought, so we'll leave it at that. But overall, I had a good week, guys. Staying busy. Y'all let me know on the cleaning the roof off, what y'all charge, the gutters, that kind of thing. It's something you could be doing right now. Can be a really good little money maker, and just reach out to your customers and ask them about blowing their roof off, cleaning their gutters out, and I bet you'll find that most of them will want you to do that. But anyway, hey, listen, y'all, hope you're having a great day. Have a great weekend. God bless you. Talk to you later.